It's allowed. It's allowed. That's why we are recording.
Settlements is basically the process whereby uh, processed payments are transferred to merchants' accounts.
People who would want their money early. Kenyans, we want our money in our pockets.
At Network, we provide flexibility.
Thank you for joining us for this webinar session. Today, I am joined by none other but Sir Mulwa here from the Settlements Department, ready to have some in-depth conversations on what settlement means for you as a business. Lawrence Mulwa, great to see you today.
Thank you, sir.
You look very sharp and very on brand. Quickly introduce yourself, what it is you do, and what we are here to discuss about today.
I am in the Settlements Department. I supervise settlements operations just to ensure our merchants are settled accurately and timely.
Okay.
That's our merchants are our priority. Yes.
Fantastic. What is the difference between merchants and business?
So merchants are basically the businesses we work with. They are people or businesses which we support at Network by facilitating payments. So we help our merchants to fulfill their objectives and goals by providing seamless payment solutions.
So when we talk about settlements to a layman's business, both small, medium, large, what would be that simple explanation on what it is we do as Network in terms of settlements?
So settlements is basically the process whereby processed payments are transferred to merchants' accounts. The processed transactions are from the customer payments. So we provide that solution whereby if a merchant, we have partnered with a merchant and the customers come to pay in their business, we provide that platform and solution to ensure that the merchants receive their funds timely and in an accurate manner.
So when you talk about settlement, then our key role is just to accumulate all this fund and settle into whatever account the customer or the merchant gives us, right? You've really mentioned different parties that are involved. Would you kindly just elaborate who are these parties and what each of them does within the process?
Okay, we have around 4 parties who are involved in the settlement process. So in that whole process, there is the customer, there is the network, who has is the payment processor, then there is the acquiring bank, and then there is the merchant's bank account.
Okay. What is acquiring bank?
Acquiring bank, it's a bank that facilitates payments for debit and credit card transactions, and it links between it provides a link between payment processor, the merchant's bank, and also the issuing bank. Issuing bank is the bank that provides the customers with the card, either a debit card or a credit card. Okay. Yes.
So the two options here is bank only, or what are the options? Can I also settle on my mobile money, for example?
Yes, we give our merchants liberty to choose where they want to be settled from, or rather to be settled to. They can be settled to their mobile money wallet, and they can also provide us with their bank accounts.
Just in detail, just take us through the steps of the whole journey of the settlement process.
Okay, so the whole settlement process starts at the point of onboarding a merchant. So our team, that's the sales team, will identify a merchant, and then they will discuss about the business needs for this particular merchant. Then once the merchant agrees, we partner on this business to support them on the payment solution we provide. We also give them options of how they want to be settled based on the business needs and the vertical of the business they belong to, rather than industry they belong to. So we agree with the merchant on the settlement cycle. That's how often you want to be settled your funds. Then we request the merchant to provide us with bank details such that when the funds are processed, we can settle them to their preferred bank accounts.
Sounds clear, and in my mind, I'm just in terms of it, so the cycles is the business that chooses the cycle, right?
It's the business with discussion with Network International
As they are being onboarded. So what you mean to say is the merchant gives us the instructions on how they want their funds to be settled.
Yes.
Would you then explain the different verticals and how it is, to your previous point, how it is that I get to understand I'm in this category of merchants and hence this is the best way to get settled?
Okay. So we offer a solution, payment solution to all kinds of businesses, and in terms of settlement, depending on the business vertical you belong to, if it's a supermarket, if it's an airline, if it's a tours and travel, if it's a boutique, any kind of business, we provide payment solution to all our merchants. And in terms of settlements, we agree on the cycle you want to belong. And then we do some analysis based on the risk of that particular business you are doing. If it's a travel industry, maybe customers can book maybe a flight, and after a few days they cancel all that. So we consider all those options and elements just to ensure that we give you the best settlement cycle. Then merchants, once we have agreed and one onboarded the merchant and they start transacting, we also provide another solution for our merchants to give us instructions. If they don't want to be settled when their funds fall due, depending on the settlement cycle, we can put them on hold so that when they request us these funds, we settle them based on the instruction. Let me give you an example. We have a merchant X who we are doing business with, and they are in a weekly settlement cycle. But they tell us, we don't want to be settled every Wednesday, but we'll be giving you instructions on how we want to be settled. For instance, a merchant can give us 2 bank accounts or 3, or the number of accounts they want. They can also give us either a bank account or a mobile wallet. Then they will tell us, I don't want to be settled on account A, which is the default account. I want to be settled on account B. In settlement, we ensure that we follow these instructions and settle those funds. Another merchant can tell us, out of my, for instance, 10,000 USD, I want to be settled 5,000 in account A, 2,000 in account B, and 3,000 in my mobile wallet when these funds fall due. In settlements, we ensure that the merchant is comfortable and we settle them as per the instructions.
Wow. So you can actually split your funds to different accounts depending on where you want this money to be directed.
Yes.
Fantastic. That's great news. In terms of people who would want their money early, Kenyans, we want our money in our pocket. Yes. Once we make it, we want it available. Do we have such options for them?
Yes, so we provide a solution called early settlement to our merchants, which helps them maybe to sort emergencies, to sort maybe payroll needs and other business needs which any merchant can have. And assume we had agreed with this particular merchant to have a weekly settlement, but for instance, we are settling them on Monday and they want their funds to be settled on Friday. So we offer a solution called early settlement, whereby we check on the amount that is due for settlement in the next settlement cycle. Then we can give you an early settlement. Also, we also review whether the merchant has had issues with chargebacks, refund, fraud-related transactions. We do our risk review just to ensure that we provide this merchant with the needs, with whatever they need. It's an offering we do to all merchants. It doesn't discriminate whether you belong to this settlement cycle, the longer one or the shorter one.
What happens when you have a chargeback or a fraudulent eventuality and you've already settled a merchant?
We have a department that deals with analysis for risk and fraud-related issues. So, and we have systems that ensure that we reduce the number of chargebacks that our merchant can receive. So if it's a fraud-related transaction, we have systems that ensures that we reduce the occurrence, or rather, we do some checks before a transaction is fully or rather is successfully processed, just to ensure that once we settle the merchant, we don't receive chargebacks in the future. But if we receive, we ensure that we communicate to our merchants, and if there are any documents required, we request them to provide to us, and sometimes we can hold the payment just to ensure that this particular transaction or transactions are cleared and ensure that our merchants are settled in the next settlement date.
Okay. And this is ideally when mostly we are settling to a different bank as opposed to ours, or is it across?
So when a merchant provides a bank account from a bank which we are settling from, it means that we are doing an internal funds transfer and there are no charges for that. But if we are settling to a different account, it means it's an RTGS transfer. And if a merchant has accounts which are not local, maybe you are a merchant operating in Kenya, but you have accounts in Germany or any other country, we provide that solution. If you transacted local currency, for instance, cash, we convert these funds and transfer them as a SWIFT to your designated account wherever you are. We ensure that we provide cross-border transfers, if from to the account which is located wherever you want, as long as it has been approved by our team, by our internal team.
Fantastic. What would you say are the common pitfalls and reasons why we have probably delayed settlements? You're expecting your payment to come in on a Wednesday, or you're expecting your payment to come in the following day, same day, but it doesn't happen. What are some of those reasons?
Maybe one of the reasons could be they provided incorrect bank details. That's why at the time of onboarding, we request merchants to share bank letter with us so that we update into our system the correct bank details as confirmed by the bank. So if merchant provides incorrect bank details, there might be some cases of settlement delay. Another reason could be a transaction which was flagged as fraudulent, and just to ensure that a merchant doesn't get chargebacks later, we can hold these transactions and review, do a process of risk review. And if there are any documents required, we proactively engage the merchant and ask them to provide the documents, just to ensure that we settle the merchant as soon as possible, as long as their settlement cycle is due or is nearing the settlement date. So we are just proactive to ensure that there is no settlement delay. But in case there is any delay, we ensure that our merchants are being settled, are being communicated, because there could be some other factors. Maybe the account, the bank we are settling from is down, the network issues and all that. But we ensure that all our merchants, in case there's any issue, in case there's any delay, they are communicated on time. Yes.
Can a merchant be settled in different accounts with different banks and in different currencies?
Network, we provide payment, rather we provide our merchants with the opportunity to process different currencies and in different countries. And once these transactions are processed, and for instance, a merchant doesn't have the local bank account. For instance, the merchant has transacted TZS, because the process is the same across the region. These merchants has processed TZS and they don't have TZS bank accounts. Assuming this merchant is a Kenyan merchant, they have an outlet in Tanzania, and or rather in Uganda, in Rwanda, and we have enabled them mobile money processing. We provide a solution on how they can get their funds. We can convert these funds if they don't have local bank accounts in those countries. Assume they have USD, they are located in Kenya, and they have USD bank accounts. We convert those processed transactions to USD and send them to the accounts they are provided, whether whether the account is based in Kenya or any other country. So we ensure that we facilitate cross-border settlement within the regulatory framework that is provided by the regulatory bodies. So again, you had asked about whether we can settle merchants in different accounts. Yes, we provide that one, and we encourage our merchants, if they want to have different accounts, they share them with us, and then we update them in the system. Then we have the default account, where if you don't want your funds to be split or settled in different accounts, anytime the funds are due for settlement, it goes to the default account. But if you want it to be split or go to different accounts, you send us instructions, and we encourage our merchants to send us instructions 48 hours, that is 2 days prior to the settlement date. If your settlement is on Friday and you want your funds to go to a different account, different from the default account, you send us instruction latest on Thursday or Wednesday, so that we can implement those instructions and ensure that we have settled you as per your wish. Yes.
That really offers flexibility. So in short, you're trying to say if I'm in bank blue, green, brown, I can split all my, I can split the funds through across the banks.
Yes.
And even probably if I want to settle on mobile money, that's also an option for me. Oh, fantastic. For network, we are across Africa, we are across UAE, for example. We have merchants in South Africa, we have merchants in East Africa. Is the process the same, or do they have any exceptions?
The process is all the same. It's the same across all the countries and regions we operate in. You see, there are also time zone difference. There are also holidays in different countries. Other than Kenya, for instance, today can be a public holiday in Rwanda, where we operate. We have an operation there, but in Kenya is not a public holiday. It means we have to communicate to the merchants affected in that particular country to ensure, tell them that today is a public holiday. The funds you are expecting today will be settled on the next settlement date, because the banks doesn't work on holiday. And if it's a public holiday in Kenya, but it's not a public holiday in other countries, we ensure merchants are settled, because they don't know. We assume they don't know that we have an holiday in Kenya. So we have to ensure we support them and they get their money, or rather their funds, when they fall due. And if it's holiday in all our countries we operate in, we settle our merchants on the next business day.
Now, Lawrence, this has been very educative. It's been very inspiring, and I'm also learning as our viewers and businesses get to learn. And probably as we wind up and bring this to a close, the question in my mind would be, why network? Why our settlements? What makes us the best?
Okay, merchant settlement is a key offering by network. As I indicated earlier, that our priority is to ensure our merchants receive the best quality of service that any payment processor can give. And by this, we ensure that our merchants are settled on time. Not only on time, they are settled accurately. And in this, we ensure that there is a punctuality. If you are on particular settlement cycle, you don't miss that. And if there is any issue that can make you to miss your settlement, we are proactive to ensure that we communicate to you. If it's any document you need to provide, you provide. Because we have a whole team that looks into merchants' settlement. Another key offering we provide to our merchant is easy reconciliation. Our system has many reports which are accessible to our merchants. Merchants can know when they will be settled. Merchants can know the chargebacks they received, the refunds that happened, all those. So, and they can know when to expect their settlement and how much, because our systems are clear and everything is shown on the system. So as a merchant, you can just log in and do your own reconciliation. And in case there is any support you need, we have a customer care team that is available on call, on email, just to ensure that your funds are settled accurately. Another thing that we provide, that we give a priority, is the flexibility of the settlement. We ensure that we give you the freedom to choose where you want to be settled. Whether you want to be settled in 5 accounts, whether you want to be settled in 10 different mobile money wallets, we provide that. It's the flexibility. Also provide flexibility in terms of the settlement currencies. We can, if you don't have a particular account for processed currency, we can do the conversion for you and ensure that you are settled.
This has been very interesting. It's been very engaging. I'm equally learning as you speak through the settlement cycle and process. So much to understand and to unpack. And we're receiving questions here, and probably just allow me to throw in one or two, even as we request our viewers, just continue to drop and put your questions on the charts. We will be able to continue to answer them and address them even as we proceed with this episode and even on our next one. So, Lawrence, can I change my settlement account cycle? Sorry.
Yes, you can. You can. For every merchant, we assign you an account manager, or when you have any issue, any requests, and also request pertaining change of settlement cycle, you can get in touch. So if, for instance, you are on a weekly settlement cycle and you want to be changed to be settled after every 3 days, or any other settlement cycle that you need, we do that. We are flexible enough to ensure that we accommodate your needs. And it's very possible to change, either to add the number of days you want your transaction to be settled, or reduce them. So it's quite possible, and we do.
Okay. On a follow-up question to that would be then, can I also change my settlement account? Like, for example, as being settled on this bank, and I want to change to mobile money, for example?
Yes, that's very possible. For instance, we have been settling you to account green, and now maybe your business has decided now we want to the funds to be remitted to account red, for instance. You just send us the requests either through, you send us an email, and then our team will with the requests and the bank details you want to be changed, or rather to be updated, and that one will be updated as quickly as possible, so that if you want that to reflect in your next settlement, it's reflected. So we're also flexible enough to ensure that any change of bank details is updated in our system accordingly.
Oh, sounds good. And probably this is my last question, I promise. If I have concerns, how do I get supported as a business, as a merchant?
We have customer care team that works 24/7. They are available on email and also on calls, and also I think on WhatsApp they are there. So anytime you have an issue, whether relating whether to settlements or any other issue or any instruction you want to send, you can reach out to our customer care team. We'll share our details on the chat box, on the description, so that you can call them and or email us anytime you need any clarification or anytime you need anything.
Right. And I'm sure also most of our merchants and businesses do have their account managers, their relationship managers, who they can quickly contact in case of any concerns, any issues arising, or any delays in their settlement, right? Yes. All right, so it's been great. It's been fantastic having you on this series. Hoping to see you on the next one. Please, to everyone who's followed us, please continue to put in your questions. We shall be reaching out at on the chat just to make sure we keep answering and we keep addressing your concerns. But for now, it's bye for us. See you on the next one.